Hank hung his hat on, and what I'll just play devil's advocate. It's really hard because it's really stupid. But their biggest thing was that the text stream data shows that Cameron reversed at 12:31. Do you agree with that data? And were you worried about that at all?
I wasn't. As a matter of fact, I embraced it. You'll remember in my opening statement and in my closing argument, I bookended both of them. We talked about 12/31/38. They bought it. That's what the Commonwealth just bought and owned that time frame. That came from Welcher. He was absolutely unequivocal about it. The impact occurred, and it's a completely incapacitating impact at 12/31/38. Right. So.
Do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of engineering certainty the relative time this backing maneuver occurred with the defendant's Lexus that you just spoke about?
Yes, sure. It matches the window of the cell phone data for Mr. O'Keefe that puts it in front of 34 Fairview. So the backing event occurred somewhere between 12:32:04 and 12:32:12. So the cell phone data corroborates the text stream timing data in conjunction with the infotainment system data.
Sir, are you trying to offer an opinion suggesting that Ms. Reed's Lexus never hit John O'Keefe on January 29, 2022? Objection.
I'll allow it. Is that what you're doing?
Is that your opinion?
No, sir. The way I stated it was none of the prior events were triggered by a collision. None of the prior events were triggered by a collision. Specifically, none of the events were triggered by a collision.
That text stream data does not record a collision. You know that.
A collision is not one of the triggers. That's correct.
Right. So when you were saying it wasn't triggered by a collision, it's never going to be triggered by a collision ever on text stream data.
Not the collision in and of itself, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the January 29, 1162-2, you're not concluding that any of those were collisions, correct?
I didn't look at them. They were so far mileage away from everything.
But you're not concluding, even though they were so far away and you didn't look at them, you don't conclude from the information you have that any of them were a collision, correct?
Yes.
The text stream information doesn't tell you when a collision occurs, does it?
Correct. The text stream does not register crashes at all.
Let's go to 5:07 a.m. on January 29, 2022 at One Meadows, the home of Mr. O'Keefe.
Yep.
There was a collision between Ms. Reed's 6,000-pound Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe's approximately 4,500 Chevy Traverse. That's undisputed, correct? They collided, they made contact.
They touched.
Right. But the actual collision at One Meadows did not register the recording of an event on the Lexus VCH system, did it?
Correct. Too minor.
However, you want this jury, sir, to conclude that the glancing blow that you contend occurred at 34 Fairview Road by the same 6,000-pound Lexus in contact with a mere 216-pound man did register an event on the Lexus, correct?
No. The impact didn't register the event. As I pointed out, the trigger was from when the accelerator pedal went to 30%. The text stream does not register crashes at all. It registers excessive acceleration, excessive steering, excessive braking, things like that. So the text stream will never register an event, even if you hit a ball at 100 miles an hour necessarily. It'll cause stop codes and things like that. But that's not what it does. The trigger here was transitioning into reverse and then gunning the accelerator pedal in reverse. And so when it went from 30 up to 74% throttle, once it went over 30 in that transition, that's what triggered the text stream.
on shift position signal going forward, then neutral and reverse, does that data suffer from confirmation bias?
No, that's strictly electronic data.
When we look over at the vehicle speed, can we go to the left a little bit? Vehicle speed ending at 2361 miles per hour, does that suffer from confirmation bias?
No, again, these are direct readings from the vehicle. That is a direct reading from what the speedometer is seeing.
Acceleration at the end of that 10-second window, 74%. Does that suffer from confirmation bias?
No, that's a direct reading of a sensor. That's objective information.
You would not expect, it would be abnormal for the EDR to register data based on a side swipe between a 6,000-pound Lexus and a 216-pound person, wouldn't it?
There's a minimum threshold to record in the EDR, and a pedestrian impact generally wouldn't meet that.
Would not. Okay. And a side swipe or a clip has less force and impact than a head-on collision, depending on the speed, correct?
Generally, yes.
This is relative to the start. So 0 is the start. The vehicle goes forward about 34 feet. Then you can see it basically stops in this area here, then begins to back up and ends up backing a total of 53 back from where it originally started. So if you add 53 to 34, you get 87. So if you look at when the data starts, you can see that the vehicle is actually going 13.67 miles an hour. When the data stops, the vehicle is still going 23 miles an hour. And you can see,
I'm sorry.
You can still see that it's still at 74% throttle. So, you know, this is 3/4 of full throttle in reverse.
You have no information about the angle of Mr. O'Keefe's body at the time the defendant's Lexus was traveling backwards on January 29, 2022, do you?
We have no information that he was even hit by the Lexus, so there wouldn't be any information on the angle if his body wasn't hit.
Consider Techstream data.
I'm in on that.
I'll strike it. He is relying on the Techstream data. The physical evidence is independent studies. He is allowed to offer an opinion about whether the injuries are consistent with the damage to the car, whether the damage to the car is consistent with the injury to Mr. O'Keefe, and he's also allowed to answer, in his opinion, the issue of a collision, putting aside the fact that that was emphasized and repeated in the opening statement, and it's going to happen again when other people testify. It's not our fault that ARCA didn't testify or look into the Techstream data or they don't have an expert for it. It doesn't belittle or limit that evidence. We expect to ask Dr. Welcher, does he have an opinion to a reasonable degree of engineering certainty whether the defendant's Lexus collided with Mr. O'Keefe on January 29, 2022, around 12:32 a.m. It's not our fault that ARCA didn't testify or look into the Techstream data or they don't have an expert for it. It doesn't belittle or limit that evidence.
Started this case
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
with the hypothesis that the Lexus didn't contact Mr. O'Keefe. And so I start what's called the null hypothesis, that this didn't happen. And then I look at evidence to either include or exclude the null hypothesis. So theoretically, my confirmational bias starts with a bias that it didn't happen.
So your assumption is that that because there's a tail light that is altered, it must have been by Mr. O'Keefe's arm. That's your conclusion, correct?
My conclusion is there are taillight fragments, a broken glass, lacerations to his arm, and his DNA on the back of the vehicle in the area of the taillight.
Sir, then you're going to move to strike the DNA part of that answer for obvious reasons.